got my foot in it. I hope everybody's having a good, well, I said good night, a good morning. It's 3:30 in the morning, Central Standard Time. I'm out here running this load of pigs. So I just thought I'd go ahead and just do in the middle of the night, early morning chat. This is a small channel. Channel is still new. We having it's an impromptu live on my way to the JBS here in Marshalltown to go drop this load of pigs before I head in for the night. Some things just came across my mind, so I just thought that I'd go ahead on and stream it while I'm driving. And shout out to my boss man for having this thing here in the window to hold his phone. Let's go ahead on and get into it, man. Make sure you like, subscribe to this channel. Also, make sure you subscribe to the Alert Zone TV. Shout out to everybody, because this is a worldwide movement just like the Alert Zone TV, and this is a fruitful and nutritious channel. I'm like cauliflower and Brussels sprouts. Might not be happy to see me, but after you take what I say and you digest it, you find out it's good for the body. So let's go ahead on and get into it. I wanted to talk to everybody about restaurant working. That's why I named it Restaurant Chronicles. And my journey throughout my life of working in a restaurant. So I was 15 years old in New Orleans, working in the French Quarter. One thing about the old New Orleans French Quarter I don't know about nowadays. Back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, you was 14, 15, 16, you can get your job in a restaurant, man. Somebody was gonna hire you. Somebody was gonna take a chance on you. Take this thing off, it's kind of hot. Somebody was gonna take a chance on you. And I want to first say thank you to James Bennett for getting me this job, because he didn't have to do that. And to Michael Udo, the owner of the company, the restaurant, for actually hiring me. But I started off as a dishwasher. And as I always say when I'm streaming, if I'm talking about working in the kitchen, the dishwasher is the most unwanted job in a restaurant. Nobody wants to be a dishwasher. Dishwashers, people out in the street make fun of you being a dishwasher. They make the little dishwashing jokes, but I say this. There's dignity. I'm doing good. I can't see your name. I'm doing good. Okay. Hello everybody. But I was saying, being a dishwasher, it's the one job in a restaurant nobody wants. Usually it's the lowest paying job, and it's the nastiest job. Because when you are a dishwasher in a restaurant, you are also the maintenance personnel. Toilet gets clogged up, anything like that, you got to be the one to go and fix that. However, I do think in some instances, I'm sorry everybody, I'm on this dirt road, it is the most important job in a restaurant. The reason I say it's the most important job is this. If the dishwashers don't wash the dishes, it's nothing to cook out of, it's nothing to eat out of, nothing to drink out of, and there's nothing to drink with. Being a dishwasher in a restaurant goes like this. You're also the janitor. You got to clean the restaurant before they open. You got to make sure the bathroom's clean, the kitchen, the floors and everything is ready. A lot of places have you doing dining room duties. It's just things like that. And also, you know, like I said, another good dishwashing job, well, another good dishwasher. Now, this is don't count for McDonald's and Burger King, all them types of places, because I never worked there before. But this is just for a restaurant. If you're going to be a dishwasher, besides all that, another thing you need to know is the food. walk-in cooler and the freezer. You need to know where to get what foods from. Because the greatest thing you can do as a dishwasher is assist the cooks. I'm gonna tell you how you do that. You learn where all the prepped food, all the food that need to be prepped, all that stuff is stored at. You make sure you get to work on time and you do your job. Go in there and put your head down and do your job. It's an honest day's pay, man. There's nothing wrong with an honest day's pay. I enjoyed being a dishwasher because I enjoyed making honest money. I didn't have to look over my shoulder for it. You go in there, you get your station set up, the dish room, get everything lined up. You make sure everything that you need to have clean and stacked is clean and stacked. You make sure you got all the pots and pans and stuff, everything that the cook's gonna need to cook with, ready for when you get started. When you have time, if you really take care of business, you have time, you start learning the walk-in cooler, you start learning all your different foods and stuff like that. Because being a dishwasher is like any job. When you're on a job, you always want to think about this. You always want to approach it as though customer. You want your service as a customer. Do you want your food cooked on time? Do you want it cooked right? Different things like that. So you also want to be the best colleague you can be. Now, let me make this clear. Everybody is not social on the job. Some people are very non-social, but they're good teammates. They come in, they only talk about work, and that's fine. Being a dishwasher, I'm going to tell you why helping the cooks is the best thing you can do. Helping the cooks is the best thing you can do because, unfortunately, the dishwasher is the job people quit the most. And usually when people quit being dishwashers, they do it in the middle of the shift on the busiest night of the week. I've had this happen to me several times. At this place, I'm telling you, it no longer exists, but it was called G&E Courtyard Grill on Decatur, down there in New Orleans. It was next door to Maximo's and by Coop's place and all that, across the street from Pizza Hut. And I can tell you, man, all the nights that the other dishwashers quit on me, it was always a Friday or Saturday night, man, where I would be swarmed. They would just leave me, man. I had to cook clean pots, skillets, Lexans, grill plates that they run in the oven, besides the spoons, forks, wine glasses, plates, all that, man. It was a disaster. And I had to come up with a system to make that work for me. What used to help is the cooks. When I know they was getting low on something, I would go automatically and get it. All right, they getting low on pasta. Let me go to the saute guy. He getting low on pasta. He don't need to screw it. He don't need to stop. I'm just gonna run and get it. Come in there, let him know I'm behind him, swap out his Lexans and what have you, and keep going. I'm doing stuff like this because I know I'm backed up by myself, or anytime a colleague can quit. So when a colleague quit, when the end of the shift come and they finish breaking their stations down, they'll stay and help me get out of there because the cooks are not obligated to help the dishwashers if there ain't enough dishwashers. You know what I mean? And it was a thing, man. I can tell you, many nights I remember leaving 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and the restaurant closed. Well, they stopped taking seating people at 11 o'clock. Now, if you don't understand something about restaurant business, there's also something else you should. When the business say closed on a restaurant, it don't mean everybody got to be gone by that time. That's the last time that they gonna seat, and from there, they ain't gonna seat nobody else the rest of the shift. So, but you got to think about. Turn this truck, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe till I got my foot in. Right now, I got my foot in this damn Freightliner. But I was saying, plenty of nights I can remember getting off 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and just catching a streetcar and going in Pigeon Town to my grandmother's house. Just staying in P-Town till the next morning. Because no buses was going out in the east where I used to live at. I was living in the east at the time. But it was dignity, and I loved getting my paycheck every Sunday, man. Wasn't nothing like getting a paycheck. Every Sunday I knew I had that paycheck coming to me. But I learned a lot from them guys, man. Them guys took the time out to teach me a lot. That's the first restaurant. I never became a cook. But on time when we were slow, or if I came in early sometimes, they would show me the different stations. And when I had my game plan set up, and I wanted to get out there and get ahead of everything and everybody, I would be 3-4 steps ahead so I could kind of stand in the kitchen area out of the way and just watch them get their stations ready. Just watch them get everything together so I can have an idea of how it works as a cook. But being a dishwasher, man, like I said, sometimes having to go in the bathroom and unclog the toilets and making sure they got toilet paper and the bathroom is clean and stuff like that. You know, now once the shift started, once the restaurant opened for business, as a dishwasher, the only time I was allowed out on the floor is if it was a disaster or I was taking care of the bathrooms. Other than that, as far as cleaning the dining area, that was always the wait staff's job. You know what I mean? After. But before, oh yeah, they would have us mopping the floors, doing the copper. With that tarnite, we would shine the copper. Going bad. It was unreal, man. But you learn that type of stuff working in a restaurant. You learn your different foods. You learn how what meats can't go together and what can't be open. You know, inside of a refrigerator, walk in, you're not supposed to have personal drinks and stuff like that. So let's just say you get a little refrigerator for the employees. That's the reason they have that. You put all your personal stuff in there. If the Board of Health shows up, usually they don't always say that they come in. Sometimes they'll do a surprise inspection. You don't want them to catch you with stuff like that, man, because they'll ding you. But I would get there, man, and I would run back and forth, salt in the floor. So, and for those of you who don't know, that's how they have traction in a lot of restaurants in the kitchen and dishwashing area. They buy boxes and boxes and boxes of salt. They buy them by the case. And you clean the floor, you sweep it, you probably wash down real quick in some places, and then you throw salt. And the reason you throw salt on the floor is to give you traction, and it's supposed to keep you from slipping. You know, from time to time you might fall down or what have you. You know, I had a couple slips and what have you, but I never got hurt, thank goodness. And man, just working with those guys and working with the wait staff too, you know, knowing that they real busy, knowing, just learning your dishes, learning your crowd. Okay, we got a heavy crowd out there. Let me make sure I can keep wine glasses, and the little small salsas and the butter dishes clean. So if we real busy now, at least give people a chance to munch on bread and coffee or something like that, you know. It was an experience, man, working at this place. And I know I sound like I'm talking, you know, like I know everything. I'm just talking my experience, and I'm just saying that if you're gonna have a job, just do your job, man. I don't think there's ever a job you can find that'll ever pay you what you want. There's hardly ever a job that'll give you everything you want. At the end of the day, sometimes you gotta be thankful for what you got. And how I got my raises was just through hard work, man. I started off making $4.25 an hour. This was back in '95. And I just showed up. Back then, I didn't have a cell phone. For y'all young people, y'all don't know about cell phones. Wasn't a thing back then. Wasn't no internet and all that. said, "Oh, what's the number?" I gave it to him. Boy, that joker used to beat me on my off days. I'd go to the payphone and call him. "Hey, what you got going on? What time you get out? You at school today?" "No, we ain't have school today." "Okay, be here at 4:30. You know, there was a lot of times that he had me on call almost. And it was always when I was in the dish room, man. But that's how I made money. Because I knew the dish room was keeping staff. Like I said, most guys don't want to work in the dish room. They don't want to wash dishes because they see that as like the bottom of the totem pole and they're too good to be an effing dishwasher. For me, I didn't care, man. It was legal money and I was there. Them big old hot skillets and pots and what have you. Just doing what I can do, man. Just doing what I can do to help out. And it was very rewarding, man. It afforded me a chance to have a pretty decent high school life, you know. Having extra money coming in. I didn't have to ask my mom for much. And that was just the thing, you know. So an encouragement to anybody, like right now. If I went back and took a dishwashing job somewhere, I'm going with the same dedication to a dishwashing job as if I was an electrician. At the end of the day, I look at it like this. If people don't eat, I don't get paid. I got to do my part working in a restaurant to keep people coming back. As a dishwasher, what was my part? My part was making sure we had clean dishes. That was my deal. Making sure the bathrooms stayed up to par as best as I could keep them. Things like that. That made people want to come back. As I said, when I streamed Saturday and in my little short, the biggest to anybody that's a aspiring cook, aspiring restaurant owner, you want to own a restaurant, a food truck or something like that, presentation and service is the biggest two things you sell. You can get away with crappy service a little bit if your presentation is real good, but you can't get away with good service and horrible presentation. That's not gonna happen. Most people eat with their eyes, not with their mouths, not with their taste buds. So if it don't look good, they figure it don't taste good. As opposed to having a waiter or waitress that don't know how to conduct themselves. They can always ask for another waiter. People always ask, can I have another waiter? Can I have another waitress? If I come back, I don't want so-and-so waiting on me. You know what I mean? So that's just some of the nuances for people out there that like to get into, that want to get into the food business. It is, like on the screen, hello, say hi, what's going on? It's good. Like I said, forgive me that I'm not able to kind of read the comments like I want because I'm driving. But I just thought I'd give you guys and girls this little tutorial for the little knowledge, my experiences from what I had. Running a restaurant is a hard business because it can drive you crazy. It will drive you crazy, depending. I say this, if everybody in the restaurant is consistent, a restaurant can work. But everybody got to be consistent, and as the owner, as management, you got to be consistent. That's the only way a restaurant can work, man. The waiters, the waitresses, the maitre d', host, for people who don't know what that is, the bartender, the cooks, the dishwashers, the bus person, the managers, everybody got to be on the same page. What I mean by that is coming to work to do their job. You don't have to all like each other. But if you come to work, you do your job, man, you're going to be all right. You know? That's just kind of words of encouragement I like to give. being from New Orleans, I know the youth, a lot of times people always talk about these young people need to find them something to do. Well, I'm encouraging them. You live anywhere, you 14, 15, 16 years old and somebody offer you a job, washing dishes, take it. It's honest day's pay. I started off there. I did such a wonderful job in the kitchen that I kind of got like a little managerial spot as far as taking care of the dishwashers. And then I went out on the floor as a bus boy. Now in New Orleans, a white shirt, black pants, black shoes is a waiter, waitress, bartender, or a bus person. So I was a bus person, you know. And it was a really good job. It paid very well, especially for a teenager. And they put me just in another part of how to work a restaurant. I still had the same mentality of working with everybody. So when we would get busy, I would come to the cooks and let them know, hey, we got this many tops coming. Because, you know, sometime back then, this was a fine dining restaurant. So people would call in and make reservations and stuff like that. And I would tell them, oh, they would ask. We started taking customers Monday through Thursday from 6 to 10. Friday, it was from 6 to 11. Saturday, it was from 6 to 11. Saturday, it was brunch from 11 to 2. Then restaurant dinner, 6 to 11. Sunday was 11 to 2, and then 6 to 10. So Monday through Thursday, we didn't have a morning shift serving people. But that's how they was prepping a lot of food in the morning, Monday through Thursday for the weekend. So as we would have big tables, let's say it's 5:30, 6 o'clock, and for that 4-hour shift, we got 8 tops for the night. Well, I'm going to let the cooks know how many big tables we got reserved already for the night, around what time they're supposed to come. And usually as they start coming in, I go back and let them know, hey, we got a 6 top, we got an 8 top, we got a 10 just came in. I'll keep you guys posted. Let's see what we can do to get them in and out of here, you know what I mean? And that's kind of how I used to go about doing that. It helped the cooks out. So in return, they always helped me out, man. And that was my introduction to a restaurant, you know. And then, excuse me, I started working at another restaurant years later, and I just brought the same formula there. And shout out to Venetia's Italian restaurant, Carrollton Avenue, now Street in Carrollton. Mr. Tony, Anthony Bologna. And I started off there as a dishwasher, man. It took me a while to get that kitchen though. But because I had busting skills, sometimes he would let me go out on the floor and help out if they really needed a hand. I knew how to be the host. So sometimes I would be the bus person, the waiter, and the host all in the same night, man. We got slammed. It was quite the experience, man. But Venetia's was the first restaurant that I actually became an official. And I learned all the stations, sauteing. I started off on salads. And I went from salads to the fryer cook. Fryer, oven. We made pizzas by hand tossed. I started making pizzas, and I got the saute, and finally I got the expedite. And once I started expediting, man, and because I knew how to work the flow, man, it was another fun place to work at. We would have a ball back there in that kitchen, man. Like I said, when it comes to anything like that, any kind of work like that is very, very, very good to do when you got a bunch of help, man, you can get along with the guys and girls you work with. Y'all can make the time pass having a good time. And also being professional, you know. So I learned a lot at Venetia's, a lot about cooking, and you know, I had somebody teach me restaurant cooking different. Cooking at home, which is true. So, like, I always thought about this as a customer. When I would make the, well, that's gone. Lightning pretty good out there right now. But I used to have this. We used to make these house special pizzas. Pepperoni, sausage, Italian sausage, onions, bell pepper, artichokes, black olives. I guess. But nevertheless, I would get that, and so the way I made my house specials was, I wanted to make sure there was a piece of everything in every bite and on every slice. And sometimes it would say, one of the waitresses, she would exaggerate. Oh, he's making house beats. I don't like the way he makes them because it's too heavy. No, it's not too heavy. I just made sure I put something on there that everybody liked. That was my thing. That was always my goal. That was always my goal to making house special pizzas and what have you. I thought about if I don't want no pizza that 2 of the slices, only half the slice is pepperoni. The rest of it got everything else, but I don't taste the pepperoni. I want some of the ingredients on every slice. And I try and get you to taste it in every bite the way that I put everything out, you know. And I got tipped a lot making pizzas there, man, at Venetia's. So we would make the dough, we would hand toss it, we'd make big doughs and what have you. And put it in the walkie and then cover it up. And the little small one that was left, I would make me a personal pizza all the time with that. And it got to the point where the waiters would get together. And the nights that I would be making pizzas, man, they would go buy a pizza. They would ask me to make them a pizza. And said I made the best pizzas. And I enjoyed it, man. It was quite the experience, you know. And yeah, man, just cooking at a restaurant. Like I said, it's work, but it can be done. It's not that hard of a job. You know, just dedicate yourself to it. Working in a restaurant, pay the bills. That's what you want. As long as something keeping you out of trouble, it's keeping food on your table, a roof over your head, money in your pocket. That's what you want. You know what I mean? So I just thought I'd do this little restaurant Chronicles thing. Just to let everybody know, when you hear me talking during live streams or a lot of times I talk as though I still work in a restaurant. Presentation is the most important thing for selling food. From the dwelling, whether that be a food cart, a food truck, or a brick and mortar restaurant. The inside, the cleanliness, and then the presentation of the food goes hand in hand. If a place has good food but it's not clean, people are not going to want to come back in there. If a place is clean but the food looks horrible, even if it tastes good, they're not going to want to come back in there. It's just like when you go in the grocery store and you see the box of rice that's dipped. You don't want that box of rice because the box is dipped, even though you didn't hurt none of the product. Well, the same thing goes for a restaurant, you know what I mean? You just gotta think about it like that. And yeah, man, like I said, I learned a lot about cooking. And I just thought that I'd share this at 3 something, 4 o'clock in the morning. like I said, I'm gonna keep trying to post on here as much as I can. I'm gonna let you guys and girls have it. In the comment section, let me know what you think. And until next time, I'm Uncle James, and I got my footage, and we out.